Hello guys, Dr. Hasbullah here, and in this video we're gonna try and go a little bit deeper into what we call the head discharge curve. You have seen before that the head discharge curve looks something like this. And on the horizontal axis you have the Q or the volume flow rate, and the vertical axis you have the HT or theoretical head, and the line looks something like this. So the relationship between the theoretical head and the volume flow rate is linear. However, this is what we call the theoretical head. Of course, this doesn't happen in the actual world. This happens only in ideal world. In actual world, okay, the curve looks something like this. Let me use green this time. Okay, so the curve looks something like this. Alright, and we call this HP. Right, which is the actual head. And the actual head, how it relates to the theoretical head is that the actual head, HP, is equal to the theoretical head minus the head loss. So if I draw an illustration here, if you have the impeller here, okay, and the impeller is transferring the energy to the fluid, okay, and this is the fluid, alright, the theoretical head at the impeller is called HT, right? And when the energy is transferred to the fluid, there are some losses there, which is HL. So when the energy reaches the fluid, the actual head is now HP. And to use HP in order to get the power that has been delivered to the fluid, we call it W dot F, okay, which is the power at the fluid, is equal to rho G Q HP. And if you remember in our previous tutorial, the power at impeller is W dot P, which is equal to omega T. This is the rotational speed times the torque. Or we can also get it from rho G Q HT. Okay, and you can expect that because the energy has been lost, a little bit of energy has been lost during the energy transfer between the impeller to the fluid, you can expect that the power at impeller is always going to be higher than the power that has been transferred to the fluid. Okay, and the balance is actually the head loss. So if we were to calculate the efficiency of the pump, which is called eta P, and this is going to be equal to the work transferred to the fluid divided by the work at the impeller. Okay, so this is rho G Q HP divided by omega T, right? And that's how you get the efficiency. And let me highlight this for you. Right? So the efficiency of the pump is the power that is delivered to the fluid divided by the power at the impeller. Okay? And of course, when you have a pump, you want it to operate as efficient as possible. So why are there any losses in the pump? There are a few reasons why losses occur inside the impeller. It could be that there is a pre-rotation at the inlet of the impeller. So let me write it here. Okay, so this is the reason for inefficiencies. Okay, so number one, it could be that you have the pre-rotation. Okay, and even then, when the flow gets into the impeller, the flow might be separated close to the blade, right? So it could be flow separation, meaning that it looks something like this, right? So if this is your blade, okay, and the flow came in at this direction, okay, so what happens is that you will have the separation bubble close to the blade, and this is what I call the flow separation. Okay, and another reason could be the flow blockage. Okay, so third is the blockage, right? And imagine if you have another blade here, right? And as this gets bigger and bigger, right? So the passage is usually this wide, but in here at the middle of the passage is only that wide. Okay, so that is what we call blockage. And there are a number of other reasons why this happens. It could be that the tip leakage, it could be that flow mixing that occur that reduces the momentum of the fluid. So a lot of reasons. And the point is, these all contributes to HL, which is the losses that you have here. And these components, pre-rotation, flow separation, and blockage, this depends on where are you in the head discharge curve. Let's say, in our previous example, you are here, right? About here. So at this point, the pre-rotation loss is different than if you are at this point. Okay, and the flow separation, for example, at this point is different than when you are at this point. So as your operation change, for example, if you change the flow rate, then the efficiency would be changed as well. And I'm going to draw here a real figure of the efficiency curve and also the theoretical head discharge curve. Okay, so you have something that is called HT. Alright, so this is your HT and this is your Q, which is the volume flow rate. Okay, and you know that it's going to look something like this, right? And as the diameter of the impeller increases, alright, the HT will also increase, don't you think? Okay, so you have a few lines here. Okay, if you have the increasing diameter, and I told you before that the efficiency will be different as you change the flow rate. And in this case, the efficiency has its own curve. Okay, and it looks something like this. Okay, so I'm gonna write this in purple. Okay, so this is it. This is one line, and this could be another lines. Okay, and this is where the efficiency is, let's say 75%. Okay, and as you reduce the flow rate, the efficiency will be reduced, right? And so this is, let's say this is 70%. Okay, and then this could be 50%, and this could be 40%, right? And let's say the diameter, I told you that this line could be with 200 millimeter impeller diameter. So this could be 220, 240, and 260. Right, so the higher the diameter, the higher the HT. But if you take a look at the efficiency curve, ideally, you want to operate here. You really want to operate here. Okay, because that is the region where the efficiency of the pump is the highest. Okay, it doesn't mean that your pump cannot operate, let's say, here. Right? It can still operate there, but the efficiency is much lower than if you operate here. Okay, so it's very important for you to understand the concept of HT and HP and how the efficiency changes when you change the flow rate. Okay, so when you go out in the industry and when you have a choice to make between two different pumps, let's say your supplier said that, okay, these two pumps can work in this condition, but you as an engineer will have to know what are the conditions. When you know the condition that your pump has to work, then you can compare the curve between these two pumps and you can make the decision on which pump will give you higher efficiency. Alright, and why do you want pump with higher efficiency? Even though both pumps would work, you want that to be higher efficiency so that you don't have to use so much electrical power to operate the pump. Okay, when you don't use so much electrical power, then you save in terms of electric bills, right? And if you have 1,000 pumps, you're gonna save a lot. So I hope with that explanation, you know how to find the efficiency of the pump, which is the power that is delivered to the fluid, divide by the power that is in the impeller. Then you get the pump efficiency. So that's it, guys. Just a quick, more detailed explanation about the theoretical head discharge curve. I hope now you understand what a pump efficiency is and how it changes when you change the operating condition. That's it, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.